Keith, you've put in one this morning at Auburn Live on 3. Talk to
Yeah.
us about your pick right now. I think it
Well,
lines up with one of Cole's.
Yeah, I followed Cole with Joseph Phillips. I mean, a lot of what I wrote today and my prediction was based on things that both of you have already reported. So Cole obviously has built a relationship with Joseph, and Joseph has told her, hey, it feels like home over at Auburn. Well, that makes sense. It's only 20 miles away. All right. He's bonded well with the staff. He likes the campus. He likes the program. They've made him feel like a priority. That's resonating with him. Jeffrey, then you reported last week during his visit that he had another great visit. He spent a lot of time with the defensive coordinator, Ron Roberts. And obviously he could play multiple linebacker positions, but the bonding part, I mean, everybody's going to recruit him. A position's almost irrelevant. These guys want to feel comfortable with the guy that's going to be coaching them. They want to feel like the program's headed in the right direction. They want to be made to feel like a priority. And then, obviously proximity to home. So you start reading all these tea leaves, and it really points right now to Auburn. Now, Jeffrey and Cole, how often do we have to write when Auburn's trying to go after somebody? Boy, it's going to be hard to beat Alabama here. Or boy, it's going to be hard to beat Georgia. This time it feels like, boy, it's going to be hard to beat Auburn.
Yeah.
That's what feels different about this recruitment. Could Auburn get beat? Of course. I mean, he's going to visit Georgia, Alabama, Clemson, Texas A&M, Tennessee. There are a lot of schools after him. But, if you're an Auburn fan, obviously you wish he would just go ahead and commit. But he hasn't been to very many places. And the last thing you would want really is for a guy to commit and then have reservations later on, okay? You'd rather him go visit all those places. And look, if he falls out of love with Auburn and in love with somebody else, then it wasn't meant to be anyway. But if he goes to all those places now and still feels the same about Auburn and you get him on board, then you probably don't have to worry about somebody poaching him or trying to poach him later on in the cycle. So obviously right now we like where Auburn sits. We think Auburn's in the catbird seat or the driver's seat or whatever the better phrase is. And the bar is high. And, a lot of times it's the other way around. Like I said, a lot of times the bar's high in Athens or in Tuscaloosa or in Clemson or in Columbus or in Gainesville or Tallahassee. But this time the bar has been set really high in Auburn. And now if you're Auburn, you're saying to everybody else, all right, let's see what you got. Let's see what you got. Because we as a program have already impressed him. And in fact, he'll also be back, I believe, through Jeffrey's reporting on April 8th for the A-Day game. So Auburn, to me, looks like it's clearly the best spot. We'll see if that's still the case after he makes all these visits. If it is, then they're going to get the guy.
What a huge win that would be for Auburn. The guy could play inside linebacker. He played Jack. He spent the last week walking around with Ron Roberts, who coaches the Jack position for Auburn. Keith, you'll have a couple of more today.
Yeah.
One of which will be potentially a big one. And I think, Cole, you're on boat with this one too.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just give you the name. I'm thinking about it. This ain't done yet. But, you start reading the tea leaves, and it feels like Auburn has a shot, at least a shot, with DeMarcus Riddick, the 4-star linebacker from Chilton County, correct?
Yeah.
And so he's already visited. He's coming back, I believe, when Cole next week, right?
Yeah, Monday.
Okay, he's coming back next week. We saw this happen in the last cycle where FSU had Keldrick Falk, the 4-star and top 100 recruit, as a defensive end, committed for many, many months. But at the end of the day, that pull to stay in state, to stay at home, was so great that he ended up signing with Auburn. In fact, is already at Auburn. Now, this is a little bit different animal. Georgia recruits at a much higher level. Let's just call a spade here. They recruited at a much higher level than Florida State. And so to beat out Georgia is a monumental task, especially since he's already committed. But as we've said in the past, this is the most important recruiting class for Hugh Freeze. He has said that, not just us. Right. Hey, this is my most important recruiting class. They want to protect the border, in the state of Alabama the best they can. They made this guy a priority. He feels it. He's feeling Auburn. Alabama's probably in it as well. But if the time, at some point, Auburn's going to flip somebody from Georgia. Now, remember, it happened with Dontavius Russell, the defensive tackle, 8-9 years ago. It happened with Darius Slayton. It happened. The talented receiver now starts for the New York Giants, and he was a very good player. It has happened. It just hasn't happened in a while. And for Auburn, and by the way, what do those guys have in common? They played on that great 2017 team that nearly made the college football playoff. So that tells you to be at that level, you have to beat the teams like Georgia. We're beating a dead horse. We say this every week, but it has to happen at some point. And if you're Hugh Freeze and company, you're hoping it starts with DeMarcus Riddick, and they've got a real shot. And again, a lot of what I'm going off of is Cole's reporting. Cole's built a pretty good rapport with this young guy, but also knowing the importance of him as a recruit, his position linebacker, where Auburn really has to reload this cycle, no question about it. And then the fact that he's an in-state kid. Now, obviously, Georgia's not going to go down without a fight. There's no question. But you have to feel like Auburn has a legitimate chance here, a legitimate chance. We'll see.